bring out someone who I think is on the cusp of a huge industry shift that's happening actually outside our industry. I'd like to introduce Greg Nelson from Microsoft. Now, come on out, Greg. Now, as all of you know, Microsoft gone through some major transitions recently, buying basketball teams, or that was Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Oh, right, I got it.
That's the other guy.
The other guy. So Greg leads advertising at Microsoft, and I'd love to chat with you for a few minutes about the evolution of Microsoft and the new future for advertising.
Let's do that. Feels like I'm on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm pretty excited about what's in that bag.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that.
OK. So we signed our deal. We started off the show talking about 4 years ago in 2010. We did a deal with Microsoft that completely changed the face of the industry. It really validated AppNexus, it validated RTB, and it validated really most of the businesses out there who believed that this was going to be the future. And back then, people still said, hey, publishers shouldn't use RTB. It's not good. And now I think it's a question of how can we make it work for us. And so I think Microsoft's been on the cusp of that. Now that we are under the guidance of Satya and a new Microsoft, I'd love to hear your perspective on how ad technology or the advertising strategy at Microsoft has evolved.
Sure. Can I first just say thanks for the teamwork. There's nothing easy about it. It's a complicated industry. It's a great partnership, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think part of the good news here is that Microsoft's strategy and the ad tech strategy are very complementary, starting with the consumer. So an increasing amount of decisions in the technology space are made by consumers. And we can talk about data, which is the future of marketing, but it all starts with consumers. And what we try to do in the ad tech space is understand consumer intention. And we do that using a lot of unique data that we and a few other companies have. But the job that we have as an ad platform and as an owner of lots of services and interesting publishing properties is really to try and understand what consumers are trying to get done. So when you think about Satya and the strategy for the company, he's telling us, hey, figure out how to help people do more and achieve more. And so we try to find that moment using our data, using our ad platform and your ad platform to understand when consumers are trying to do something that is of interest to marketers and then put marketers and consumers together at the right time. So the broad Microsoft strategy, Satya's strategy around do more and achieve more, links into consumers, into the ad platform, and to marketer interest.
One interesting thing is, when we did our deal back in the day, people were shocked that Microsoft, as a technology company, was open to partnering with other technology companies. And now I saw an announcement yesterday about Dropbox. We've seen a partnership with Salesforce. It really feels like a new Microsoft that to achieve those goals of really to help consumers do what they're trying to do, it doesn't have to just be Microsoft. And so I'm curious how you think about this ecosystem and how Microsoft, what's Microsoft's role in this broader ecosystem we have?
Well, it's not our ecosystem, it's the world's ecosystem. It has to work on every screen that matters. So we're investing a lot in cross-screen. And speaking of screens, can I show you something?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so everybody likes screens. We all have a lot of them. There's a new screen. This one fits on your wrist. That's for you.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Microsoft Band. If you haven't seen this, it is so cool.
So
can I open it?
Yeah, it's for you.
I have a theory about this band. I'll tell you in a second. But yeah, talk about cross-screen.
Yeah, so again, the data allows you to run that thread through a person's life. And we love it if it's our screen, if it's a Windows Phone or a Windows PC or a Surface or a Microsoft Band. And think of all the cool data that comes on that thing, right?
Yeah, this is awesome.
This enables you to do new things in your life without sort of staring at your phone and tripping on falling over on the sidewalk. So that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, you look cooler already, man.
Right?
You look awesome. You are a superhero.
Fantastic.
And when you go into Starbucks, you hold that thing up and you've paid for your coffee.
Look, it says AppNexus Conference with Greg Nelson. Dude, how awesome is that?
That is super awesome.
It knows where I am. Well, this is cool, right? Because the idea here for me, at least, is and this has all kinds of sensors, right? So it knows, it does know where we are.
Yeah. It's tracking your heart rate right now, which is going to go right on my Twitter feed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Although I will say that one great thing about Microsoft is the laser focus on privacy. And so
Yeah.
I think that's a big advantage.
Yeah,
I think
thank you for bringing that up, because of course we probably, I know we have a different relationship to data, and we have a different, and I think a little more thoughtful and long-term horizon on the ad business. Some of our competitors, some of the players in this market rely entirely on advertising for their business model. And so all the data that they collect, they want to use. And those companies tend to think that that is their data. That's not how we think. We think the consumer owns their data. We're the steward of that data, but they decide how it gets used. So you're going to generate lots of interesting data with that screen and with all the other screens, the one in your living room, hopefully, connected to an Xbox, the one with your tablet and your phone and all those things. All of that data is your data, but we want to put it at your service to help you get things done. And when that relates to a transaction or a commercial item, then great, we're happy to bring the marketer to you.
What's so crazy about that is that it isn't actually crazy, this idea. I mean, we talk a lot at AppNexus about this virtuous cycle where marketing needs to actually be effective for the marketer. So they actually, bless you, they get great results. The consumer actually feels like they've had a relevant high-value experience, which connects them to the marketer or brand, and that this provides monetization, for a publisher. And in this cross-device world, it's actually who is the publisher, is actually going to be an interesting question. Is it the device manufacturer? Is it the operating system creator? Is it the app? Is it a monolithic advertising company that gets all the money? That would be Google. Am I allowed to say that?
No, in my household, I made my kids say rhymes with bugle.
Ah, yes, yeah. Yes. Okay, I'll use that from now on.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's fascinating about the Microsoft strategy is I know from being inside the kimono here and there is that you have a 10-year strategy. You're thinking incredibly, long-term about where Microsoft needs to be. And it's sort of fun for us because as AppNexus gets bigger, we've been more and more long-term thinking. And by long-term, I mean like, a couple quarters. And so this strategy is extraordinary. And I think it actually brings me to another topic, which is we had lunch a few weeks ago, and you said, I mentioned to you that Microsoft has been pushing us further than any other customer, that the things that you're trying to do are actually very different than what we see from other customers. And that's stretched us as a company in very challenging ways sometimes. But I think it's actually made us a better company and given us a new perspective that we have tried to build into some of the products that we've built. So I think thank you for being willing to ask us for things that aren't necessarily next in our roadmap. Well, I really love what you said about that too.
Yeah, we know that we're a challenging customer. Thank you for being so gracious about it. But I think the reality is we've done really good work together on RTB, right? And I mean, look at Max. I mean, you should take a lot of credit for this. It's tripled in volume. It's 50 billion impressions a month. Outlook is being transformed in part by Max. So that's great news. I mean, there's huge scale, and RTB is getting better as the platforms get better. But we all know we have to go beyond that. So a few months ago, Max Deals, 16 countries now, I think. We're up to 36 or something with Max overall. China's next. And the real work is still in front of us because we know that this market, programmatic, broadly stated, or automated, it only satisfies one part of the marketing mix today. And we know that both publishers and marketers want something better. They want access to the most premium inventory. They want to be able to do it at reserve prices. So we're not talking about it today, but stay tuned. Like, our companies are going to do some really interesting work together to advance the whole state of the industry, I think, in this space.
Yeah, I wish we could talk about it. But what's been so special about our relationship, but also about Microsoft as a pretty big company. I mean, you're thousands of people now, right?
Yeah, we're thousands.
Yeah, no, it's pretty big. Is the willingness to experiment. And I look at Outlook as a great example of the new MSN launch. But Outlook had ads, then no ads, then a different kind of ads. Now we're back to ads, and Max keeps evolving and growing. And the idea that we can innovate at your scale and somewhat at ours is really exciting. And it's made this partnership so much better than I ever would have expected from the outside looking into Microsoft. And so I'd like to thank you for that.
Well, thanks. And as far as experimentation, thanks for bringing that up. Outlook is one of those examples where I'm sure from the outside, people probably looked at it and said, what are you guys doing? But the backstory to that was looking at consumer feedback and research on the Outlook ad experience, which an email is kind of an unusual environment for ads. It's not necessarily a natural ad surface. And it's productivity, people are trying to get stuff done in that environment. So we looked at the feedback and we said, we're gonna redo that. We actually pulled the ads and we went into consumer research. We tried a couple different formats that were new, that we hadn't done before. Then we came back with a bigger ad, back to the skyscraper, but with different creative acceptance policy, different ad serving on the back end, improved filtering, to raise the bar on the quality of that ad. And we're gonna continue to experiment. We're gonna do that with our whole ad platform.
That's so cool. And it's such a pleasure to be a part of that. And for those of you who aren't keeping abreast of what Microsoft's doing, it's not just on Outlook, it's on the new MSN, it's in mobile, it's in ads and apps. There's this really cool thing we're doing together on the mobile side to actually put ads into apps and sort of connect app developers to other apps. I mean, there's all this stuff that's going on. And I think it can be challenging as an ecosystem to keep up with the pace of the change and the fact that you're not willing to standardize on what the rest of the space is. But I think it's a great moment just to remind everyone that this is actually the cutting edge, and that it's really important to watch where Microsoft goes over the next 12 months, 18 months, really as the future of the space. So
Thank you for saying that.
Let me see. I'm watching my heartbeat as we talk. I'm up to 74.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, you're calm.
Yeah, it's
You're good.
This is great. I love this thing. Can I keep it for a while?
Yes, you may.
Okay, awesome. These are sold out for like weeks. I tried to buy one online. It's like impossible. But there's no lines outside
That's
the
why you
Microsoft
invited me,
store
right?
yet. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Thanks, guys.